the good thing for you, like seeing you as a young guy, you had like a face of a Disney guy. Like you could have done it, right? Like or MTV. I looked like a Merrill Lynch associate. Like there was a time when I auditioned for a commercial, and there was where you'd go downstairs and you'd split, like literally a fork in the road, and one of them was for Target, and I remember like it was all these guys who were my age. I was probably like 24 at the time, and everybody was like, you know, what's up, dude? Everyone was just sort of high fiving and sort of like partying without beer, like in the hallway. And I realized I wasn't there for that. I turned left, and I was with 60-year-old men for a Merrill Lynch audition.
And so that's what they would put you as?
I never auditioned. I was never the young, even when I was the young guy, I was never the young guy. Like I know that I look like this now, but like even if you were to see me as a younger dude, like I always sort of looked this way.
You had a seriousness about you.
I don't even think that. I just don't think that, because I don't think I'm like that serious of a guy. I mean, I've got.
No,
like,
you're not a serious guy. I mean, you take your craft seriously, but you don't look old.
No, but I think it's just that I don't know if it was I was tall, but all these, I just remember all these guys in like spiky blonde hair and like, you know, short shorts, and then me in like a 3-piece suit and a power tie who was very serious about banking. And like, I just remember being like, because they were like, what are you here for? They didn't even ask me. Because some of these kids were like, they were, you know, we're all the same age, but they were just like, they were like, oh, Target. Like you could just tell by the way you were dressed.
Yeah.
And I went to go look over there to see who was there, and it was just like, oh, dude, I am not here for that, you know, 1960s surf movie.
Yes.
I'm here for Wall Street.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that.
Wow, I could see that though. I mean, like, not that you're old, but you just have a distinctive look.
Yeah, I do have a distinctive look.
Like you could be English people, you know.
I do a lot
Are you
of
Jewish or English?
I'm Jewish, but my last name is the Kites are English. We changed ours when we came over to Ellis Island because they couldn't pronounce it. No. Well, but it's funny because you get typed.
Yeah.
When you get here. And so that was the fun thing about commercials, is that you get to do, they would see you for anything.
Yeah.
Old women, French pirates, whatever. But it's like, that was a very cool thing. But like the one thing that I never got seen for, like even when I was on a Disney show, I was an FBI agent.
Totally could see that.
Or I was an alien that they like put in all this like crazy, I was on like this Disney show one time, and I was an ant alien. And you couldn't tell it was me because I was in like, 5 layers of prosthetics and goo.
Really?
Yeah.
What show?
The Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh, you're on Sweet Life.
Yeah, they did it. So when they were in a boat, there was like a spaceship episode.
That was a spinoff.
Yeah, this spinoff, and it was like George Takei was there. It was like a Star Trek sort of theme.
And you were a wild alien.
And I was the bad guy.
I can totally see that.
And I came in, and I was like, and they were just like, I remember they were just like, be a bug. And I was just like, you know, but I don't even remember what I did, but I was like, they were just like, you're like a con or something. And I was like, of course, I'm not like I don't know. Like, it was just funny. If in those shows, I would always be like the outlier.
Yeah.
So I could, yeah. So I always wanted to, because I grew up wanting to be on Saved by the Bell, you know?
Yeah.
I just thought that was that those kids could go to fake school for a living. I was like, oh my God. It's a dream.
Yeah. It's done.
Dude.
Well, I would consider you one of the elite impressionists.
Thank you.
You feel like that, right?
I mean, I think some days, you know, I think it depends on, maybe it depends on my mood or how much I've drank the night before.
Well, the first time I ever saw you.
My voice is gone the next day.
Yeah, I believe it was the Laugh Factory, and I had to follow you. And you get up.
That's the first time we ever, yeah.
I think it was at Katie's show.
Yeah.
And I had known you were on Two Broke Girls. And I didn't really put together. I mean, you played a totally different character, which is amazing, than you are. And then you get up and you do a Tom Hanks impression, which is, I always say impressions are easy when they're easy to grab onto.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very hard to do Kevin Costner. Not a lot of, I mean, I love the guy, but the discerning quality, what do you grab onto? Tom Hanks is not an easy grab onto. in my opinion. It's not an outrageous persona. And then, so you kill. I don't think I ever saw Tom Hanks until you. I don't think I've seen one since. Then you follow it up with a Ryan Reynolds. Again, I don't know anyone that's ever done Ryan Reynolds except you. Again, I love these guys. Ryan Reynolds, you made it distinct, but if I was going to try to do an impression of him, I would do you doing him because I feel like it's easier to grab off of you.
When somebody cracks the code.
Yeah, because if someone is one way, Jack Nicholson is much easier than Kevin Costner, and I don't explain why, but you know why.
I could tell you because people used to get rewarded for their habits, like when you listen to Jimmy Stewart or John Wayne or Spencer Tracy, and Jack Nicholson and Pacino and De Niro were sort of that last class.
Yes.
So you wanted when you heard Pacino, you wanted to know that it was Al Pacino. You wanted to see that. You wanted to. And now obviously his acting was unbelievable, but you wanted to see people went to go see Al Pacino in these films and Jack Nicholson.
Heightened versions of themselves, of their caricature that they became their character.
Well, I would say if you don't die the hero, you live long enough to become the villain. So like anybody now that's been, the career of 50 years, 60 years, even Christopher Walken, you hear him back in Deer Hunter, he's not normal. Normal is such a ridiculous word, but he's not the way he is now because he's heard people do him so much in his life, and he is aware that there's sort of a jump about the way that he talks. Even now, when he's just sort of having a conversation, how are you? Good. But it's
Let me explain. I've stopped you. I'm sorry. I hate that I stopped you.
No.
Let me tell you, the first person that was ever known for doing Walken was Jay Moore.
Yeah.
And Jay killed it. And then I worked with another guy, Spencer Garrett, who is I don't know if he's in Chicago, also did a killer Walken. But Spencer, I believe, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this now, taught Kevin Spacey how to do. Kevin Spacey, I know we can't talk about him, is an incredible impressionist.
He is.
And because he's an actor, just like you. If you're a good actor, you can do these things.
He did an impression of not a pedophile for so long.
Hey, really? Did you believe it though? There
was a real creep.
I don't think he committed to that impression.
You could sort of
could see
the eyes. There's something, back there.
So, but the fact that you just did that is good. That was as better as anyone.
Oh, you know what it is? It's also how you learn him. Jay did him in such a specific time, in the 90s.
Yeah.
When he, and sort of, when you do them so well or you're known for them, it's does it really evolve? It's you sort of do your version, and Jay's as talented as anybody, but I feel like he got known for doing that Walken.
Yeah, that was, so a couple questions, and then he did a movie with Walken, which was, again, I did 10 callbacks for another role.
Suicide Kings, right?
Yes.
Great movie.
I was, Johnny Galecki. You did it. Was
that the part you were up for?
Oh, I read for that 5 times. Oh. Yeah, but it was the whole, and it was a whole, which he was awesome in it, but the whole thing of Jay was doing Walken and knew him for Walken and doing Walken with him. It was crazy. But Jay Pharoah, you, Frank.
Amazing.
Melissa.
Amazing.
So, there's different, I could talk to you this for about 2 hours. I'm going to try to be really specific. When did you start doing them? And do you do 30?
No, I could probably do
I've heard you do 12 off the cuff brilliantly.
Oh, thanks, man. So I could probably do 150 to 200. I had to count one time. The only reason I know that is because I'm a fucking narcissist. No, because when I auditioned for Family Guy, they had me list everybody that I could do when I submitted. And they were just in case they needed the impression.
Did you ever work on it?
I played Alec Baldwin on the Emmys episode where they try to get an Emmy, and then Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey are you'll never get the Emmy because you suck or whatever. It was great. I can't remember how many years ago that was. Maybe 8 years ago or something.
Just one ep?
Yeah, just one ep as Alec Baldwin. I got close a few other times. I mean, here's the thing: Seth MacFarlane is so talented, and he does so many
does
impressions.
so many voices, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's his show. He's there and so good already. Unless there's like one that he can't do, and they have brilliant impressionists that work on the show, like Josh Robert Thompson and you know, some of these other guys and girls. So it's like, you know, they sort of have their people already.
150,
something like that, and but I didn't.
Clean.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah. Try.
Like your Tom Hanks level.
I try to not say that I can. There's ones that I'm working on. Like I definitely have a document on my computer of like stuff that I'm working on, and
how hard do you work on them? Because I definitely know this comes easy to you, but I also know you work on them.
you know, some of them come easier than others, and
Definitely.
if I have a joke for it, it's easier because you do it with intention instead of just like learning it in a void. You know, I think that's why some of them are harder for me. Like when I started learning, I'm trying to think of even the bit. Like when I did my Mark Wahlberg, I did him like, why is Mark Wahlberg always out of breath? That was like a joke that I wrote. And so I could do that sort of with intention, where it's like I tried to learn Brad Pitt without a joke. And it was just like, man.
Now that's an example. That
would
would be
white
a
whale.
Yeah, that's a white whale.
That's what I'm trying.
Can
like,
you
right
do
now.
Brad Pitt?
Not
you
really.
don't have to.
No.
That's a hard one. Again, because of what I said earlier. You agree?
Yes.
What's the discerning quality?
But when you hear, every now and then he'll do something that you sort of, there's like I'll grasp onto something. Yeah. He'll have like he has a very tight jaw. So I'll start there. And I'll just listen to him over and over and over again. So it's not there, but there's something. It's a kernel.
You're obsessive.
Yeah.
Super obsessive.
I have OCD and.
But do you so you see someone you like, and then do you just start working on them? Because we all have to grab a line.
Yeah.
You grab a line off of what they can do.
Yeah.
So, and do you work on it? I mean, do you do the mirror and all that shit, or no?
I don't like the mirror. I don't watch the stuff that I'm in. I don't like to look at my stand-up. I'll listen back to myself for notes and stuff, but I just don't. That's not something that I enjoy about myself. So what I try to do is I just try to feel it and try it out on stage a bunch of different ways, and to see what the audience, because the audience, when you get something like the Tom Hanks or whatever, when I get that, the audience is like, that's it.
Yeah. Dude, it's insane.